Hello and what is up out there, survivors? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Survive News. As you can tell, I'm trying something a little different here with the whole overlay thing that's going on. I've kind of developed these overlays for Twitch, but I kind of like them for stuff like YouTube as well, because it just adds this kind of nice border around everything, and just so you're not seeing as much of this thing, you know, my face. It's been a while because we did a community spotlight episode, and then we had no news episode because of The Last of Us 2 review. So this is the first news episode in a while, and I'm sorry to report that I don't have a huge amount for you today. I mean, I have some cool info about the Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil Village. This comes courtesy of CVX Freak over on Twitter, who did a translation of a Famitsu interview speaking to the producers of Resident Evil Village, and it contains some tidbits that you might find interesting. The transcription of the interview is basically as follows. Famitsu: it's been 2.5 months since Resident Evil 3 Remake, and we're surprised to see another number title announced already. How long has the game been in development? Capcom: it's been 3.5 years since we began planning the title, so 3.5 years. They started developing Resident Evil 8, sounds like just before Resident Evil 7 launched. Famitsu: Chris was in Resident Evil 7, what's he been up to since then? What's his relationship with Ethan and Mia? Capcom: it's not strange to think they formed a new relationship after Resident Evil 7 based on their shared experience. We hope we gave players that impression, but we may defy your expectations. Laughs. So this is interesting. They formed a new relationship after Resident Evil 7. So, I mean, is he talking specifically about that not a hero sequence, or is he talking about something kind of more advanced? It will be interesting to see for sure. Famitsu: the 8 appears in the Village logo. Why didn't you call it Resident Evil 8? And that's the VIII numerals. Capcom: you can say the Village is another protagonist in the game. We want players to clearly understand that. I like this. I've always said that with my film The Perished, that the parochial house that it takes place in is very much another character within the story. I love stories where the location is another character. I've definitely felt like in the original Resident Evil, the Spencer Mansion is as much a character as anybody else in that game. So yeah, and it's like the police station in Resident Evil 2, same vibes. So I'm excited about that, that the Village is effectively another protagonist. Famitsu: the trailer says his story comes to a close. Who is that referring to? Capcom: we'll let you decide, but know that Resident Evil 8 is the sequel to Resident Evil 7 Biohazard and serves as the conclusion to its story. This is very interesting. I've seen quite a lot of speculation around this. People were wondering whether it's Ethan or Chris that is being referred to in this statement. This doesn't really clear that up. It does say that it's a conclusion to the story of Resident Evil 7, so you could take that as to mean that this is a conclusion to Ethan's story. But yeah, time will tell. It still seems very deceptively worded. Whether that's just a translation issue or what, I don't know. I find it interesting. Famitsu: Resident Evil 7's Ethan is the protagonist. There's an option in Resident Evil 7 that changes the story. Which version does Resident Evil 8 follow? Capcom: look closely at the trailer. You can see the connection between Ethan's current situation and what happened in Resident Evil 7. If you haven't played Resident Evil 7, please do so. I like this. You basically have the producer telling you, yeah, if you played the previous game, you'll have some kind of understanding of what's going on here, and if you didn't, just go play the game. I will say that from my perspective, it is clear which ending in Resident Evil 7 is canonical, if you've played that game. And there's a certain choice to be made, and I think anyone who's finished the game will, regardless of which decision they made, will know which canon this lies in. Famitsu: we're curious about Chris this time. He had PTSD in Resident Evil 6, now he seems to have lost his reputation as an experienced soldier yet again. What can you tell us? Capcom: many feel Chris in the trailer shows he's lost his status as a hero. Many have guessed why. Look forward to the game. This is interesting. The way that it's worded, according to CVX Freak, the translation for many have guessed why is actually kind of, it seems to be affirming that many people who have made guesses are correct. Like, many have guessed correctly. So that's interesting, because there's been a lot of speculation about Chris in this trailer. And like the fact that he does seem to be a villain. He does riddle Mia with bullets. Yeah, and he just looks kind of dark and brooding, and But I mean, I have a feeling that there's a very legitimate reason for what's going on here. So I'm intrigued to see where they go with it. Famitsu, as the title suggests, the village is the setting. What's the extent of it? What country is this in? Capcom, we can't answer to what extent, but all we can say is the setting is somewhere in Europe. Now, given that the currency is lei, a lot of people have been led to speculation that this is set in Romania, and I mean, that would definitely make sense and tie into the whole kind of werewolves, vampires, witches mythology that seems to be at play here. But yeah, I'm intrigued by this, not gonna lie. Famitsu, Resident Evil 8 uses a first-person view. Were fans highly responsive to Resident Evil 7? What has changed? Capcom, both first-person shooter and over-the-shoulder have merits, but we think first-person shooter allows for, well, FPS allows for a deeper immersive experience. We can't comment on changes from Resident 7, but we can say FPS has greatly evolved in Resident Evil 8. This is interesting that they say that FPS has evolved. I wonder if it'll be more action-oriented like Resident Evil 4 was compared to the survival horror of, Resident Evil 1. Yeah, I'm intrigued by this. I just wish, I'm not bullshitting here, I just wish that Capcom would add in the option to flick between. Like, I'm playing Resident Evil 2 in first person now on the PC, and I'm just thinking, like, this would have been such an easy toggle button. Like, no offense, but like, it would just be great to have that option for the people. I know plenty of people who wouldn't play 7 because it was first person. Likewise, I know that I would like the option to play the Resident Evil 2 and 3 in first person, which thanks to mods I can. But yeah, just a simple toggle button would make a lot of people happy. Famitsu, you showed the inventory screen in the special developer message. Looks like Resident Evil 4's attaché case. I filled it with eggs back in the day. We're looking forward to item management. Capcom, can't go into detail, but inventory management is very important. Please look forward to it. I mean, it's clear from that special developer message video that this is a Resident Evil 4 style inventory, so I don't know why they're kind of dancing around that one. It seems a bit odd to me. Famitsu, in the trailer, one creature looks like a werewolf. It felt terrifying in a way I never felt before. Are they human? They seem different from zombies and ganados. And then I love Capcom's response here so much. It's an enemy. It's not a werewolf. It's not a ganados. It's not a zombie. It's an enemy. It's an enemy. They will face off against the protagonists. The protagonists. That's a very interesting term right there. Is Chris going to be playable? Ethan is obviously going to be playable. We've heard rumor that there was a character called Emily. And then, in glorious Capcom fashion, can't comment about their background. Love it. Famitsu, this Resident Evil is for PS5 and Xbox Series X. What has next-gen hardware allowed you to achieve? And Capcom say, we've upgraded the graphics and sound. Also, the fact that loading times can't be perceived is an important point. All in all, next-gen consoles allow for more immersive experiences. This is cool. I'm not sure to what extent they're going to utilize the loading screen functionality or the lack thereof. But I mean, if you can kind of wander around the whole damn village or the whole damn environment and not have a loading screen, that would be absolutely sick. And finally, Famitsu said, there's a screen with a door that looks like a puzzle. We're intrigued. Are solving mysteries an indispensable part of Resident Evil? And Capcom go on to say, on top of fear, combat, and item management, exploration is a must in Resident Evil. Solving puzzles is definitely in. It expands the breadth of the gameplay. So it does sound like we're going to be getting some sweet, sweet puzzle solving. So that's basically it on that Resident Evil 8 news. As I say, it's just an interview with Famitsu. There isn't a whole heap to go off. Capcom are being very coy. We will know more in August when they release more info about Resident Evil 8. There's heavy speculation that the game might release around February of next year, which would be amazing. This is due to the fact that apparently 60% of the game is complete, which, when factoring in the schedules of the previous titles, would line up with a kind of February release. I would anticipate that maybe around March or April, considering the release of Resident Evil 3 Remake this year. But yeah, we'll see. Not a whole lot of extra news here to go off, and unfortunately, absolutely no community spotlight this week. I haven't had a lot of time for research just due to some issues here with the channel. Next bit of news is pretty cool. If you've played Her Story, I'm a big fan of that game. And also Shattered Memories, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, which is one of my favorites, kind of Silent Hill spin-offs, I would say, because it's a kind of soft reboot of the first game, but it does it's massively underrated and does some really, really unique and interesting things with psychology or psychological moments, and I personally love that game. Sam Barlow, who's the creator of Her Story and Silent Hill Shattered Memories, took to Twitter to announce on the 25th of June that it was the 5-year anniversary of Her Story. In an emotional tweet, he talked about how Her Story was the game that bridged the gap for him, or healed the rift for him between video games and video games. Really interesting. Sam is a really cool narrative designer and stuff, so this is interesting. Sam went on to mention that they were teasing a new game over on Steam. Sam revealed a new game called Project blank box. Yeah, it's been referred to on the Steam discussion page as Project Ambrosio. But yeah, it's done in like a redacted style where you don't necessarily see the word. But yeah, Sam is, as I say, a very interesting narrative designer. From what's visible in the teaser videos that are out there for Project Ambrosio, it looks like it will kind of be live action sequences like Her Story. But yeah, it's kind of got that interactive narrative, visual novel vibe to it. And looks really, really interesting. This guy, as I say, is doing some really interesting, unique stuff with narrative, and so I would definitely suggest adding it to your wish list over on Steam for future reference, because I will be keeping up to date with this and dropping info as it comes out. There's no release date for Sam Barlow's new project yet. This is also redacted, but yeah, as more info comes out, we will be sure to let you know. So, sadly, as I say, guys, that is it for this week's news. There isn't a lot there. A little bit of Resident Evil 8 info and some news about Sam Barlow's next project. Hopefully, I will have more time next week to do a bit more research. I guess I can drop some news here about the channel. We're changing our schedule again. I know you're probably sick of this by now, but yeah, effectively, I'm not going to be really doing Let's Plays here on the channel anymore. There might still be some, but in general, Let's Plays will move to Twitch. That's where they will be active. The Twitch live streams are going to run on a Tuesday and Thursday, either at 8:30 or 10:30, depending. Just keep an eye on Twitch. There's a schedule available over there, so just have a look at it and see when stuff is on if you are interested. And then, yeah, as I say, with removing a lot of well, not removing, but moving a lot of the those Let's Plays, by the way, that are going on Twitch will be cut down, edited, and put up on YouTube for people who don't have time to check on the stream, who aren't interested in live streaming and just want to watch the playthrough later. Or people who want to catch up on a pre-existing series. Yeah, that's how we're going to be managing Let's Play content. News, reviews, and interviews will all still be happening here on the channel. Interviews go live on a Wednesday. Reviews will either appear on a Tuesday or Thursday, depending. Just keep an eye on the channel, but yeah, Tuesday or Thursday. News goes live on a Friday. Let's Survive Together goes live on a Sunday. And yeah, as I say, whatever content, like if I stream something on a Tuesday, it might be up on the channel on a Thursday. If I stream it on a Thursday, it might be up on the channel on a Monday. Just keep an eye, or on a Saturday. Just keep an eye, hit the bell notification icon actually if you're interested in knowing when content goes live. But yeah, generally that's what there is a set schedule for Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays on the channel, and Tuesdays and Thursdays on Twitch. And then beyond that, anything else is a bonus. Got some very cool interviews lined up. I just recorded one a little while ago. Really, really happy with it. I'm super happy with the Walter Gray episode that went out this week. Walter was absolutely wonderful to speak to. And yeah, doing some other additional extra bonus content, like doing a roundtable discussion about The Last of Us Part 2 with some of my contributors / friends from Let's Survive Together, Stephen Tuberty and Brian O'Regan. We're going to be convening and discussing The Last of Us 2 in great detail, because it's a game that, for whatever its own reasons, has affected us all. I don't actually know their take on the game. They just finished the game recently. I'm a bit beyond that, but I'm excited to sit down with them and really explore how they felt on the game. I'm not 100%. I don't know that we're all going to land in the same place, but that is the joy of talking about games like that, is we could end up anywhere. Beyond that, I would suggest following the channel on Facebook if you're not already, and Twitter. So yeah, links down below. You can see them here on this lovely new little overlay. And thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed already. On July 24th, the channel is going to be 3 months old. I'm really hoping, I'd love to be able to get the channel to 300 subscribers by that point. But look, I understand that I don't get to make those choices. But yeah, I'm hoping that as things improve, gotten some incredible donations on the streams and stuff. So I would love to be able to start doing giveaways to try and, encourage people to come and be part of the survivors. As I say, not a big news episode, but it's a news episode. A bit more of a Resident Evil 8 speculation episode than a news episode, but there you go. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate your support as always. And let's survive together, and peace out.